Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to demonstrate how we can start to use Cassandra to create a key space, to create a table, to insert records into the table, and to retrieve the records. So a key space is an equivalent of a database when you are in a structured query language. So that would be the equivalent of a database. So I'm going to head over to my Cassandra environment here. So I installed Cassandra on Windows, and I'm using Docker as the environment in which Cassandra is running. So I need to have my Docker instance running for me to be able to run my Cassandra instance. So my Docker engine is starting there. And when it starts, I can just minimize it and head over to the command prompt to start my Cassandra instance. And I can see there my Docker is running, and in my containers there I have a Cassandra instance which I can just start here. So after starting my instance of Cassandra, I can just close Docker and head over to my command prompt. So on my command prompt, I am going to say docker execute. Sorry, I'll start with the Docker process status. I want to see the status of my Docker pods, the pods that are binding my host machine and Docker pods. So I'll just click on press enter there, and I have my container ID, which is right here, and I want to copy this container ID and then type docker -it, then I paste my container ID there and say bash. So this command will take me to the Cassandra query language command line, or the Cassandra query language shell. I press enter there. Oops, there is an error in my command. Let me see what my error is. Yes, I left out the word exec here. So the correct statement should be docker exec -it, then my container ID there, and bash, and I press enter. So I'll then type cqlsh to get into the Cassandra query language shell. And I am right in my Cassandra instance there. I can type the word clear just to clear the screen so that I can have a fresh screen here. So with this fresh screen, I can now start to create my key space. Let's say I want to create a key space called class, which will keep records of students in a class. So I'll say create key space, and like I said, the key space is an equivalent of the database when you are in SQL. So when you are creating a database, if I may use that term here, you would say create key space. So create key space if not exists. If not exists, you are simply saying if this key space is already existing, I don't want Cassandra to be giving me an error. And if this key space is not existing, please create it. If it's already existing, then Cassandra will just be silent, and then we know that the key space surely exists. So I'll say create key space. If not exists, then my key space is called class, and my key space will be created with replication. And I'll put the replication parameters here and say class. I'll choose the simple strategy. Simple strategy meaning that this is just a node-to-node replication. As you may know that there's different replication strategies in Cassandra, which I will make a video about some other time. So the simple strategy is just a node-to-node replication. And the replication factor that I'm going to choose here, the replication factor represents the number of replications that this key space is going to have. Oops, I made a mistake there in my statement. Let me just recall it. Replication factor. There has to be an underscore there. And I'll simply say 2. This means that this Cassandra Keyspace is going to be replicated on 2 nodes. But because I don't have the 2 nodes connected in a network, I'm going to get a warning if I run this statement like this, because I'm running this on my local machine, remember. So this is just one node on which I'm running my Cassandra instance. So it's going to give me a warning to say the number of replications that I've specified here, which is 2, is more than the number of nodes that I have in my network. And rightfully so, I have only one node in my network, which is the machine that I'm working on right now. So if I had 2 nodes, if I had 3 nodes or 5 nodes, I would then probably say replication factor is 5 there, meaning my Keyspace is going to be replicated on the 5 computers that I have on my network. But I'll just say 2, just for argument's sake, so that we can see that warning. All right, so my statement is complete. I can now press enter, and of course, with every Cassandra statement you have to end with a semicolon there. So I'll press enter, and my Keyspace is now created. And of course, I have that warning which says your replication factor 2 for Keyspace class is higher than the number of nodes 1. Of course, I have 1 node, which is the computer that I am working on. So let's see if my Keyspace has been created. We will use the statement desk, short for describe, desk Keyspaces, and I'll put a semicolon, press enter, and I will see that my Keyspace code class is now amongst the list of Keyspaces that are on this Cassandra server. So I can now type the command use class. So I want to now get into the class database or the class Keyspace so that I can start to create tables in there and start to insert records. So I say use class to start using the Keyspace that I just created. So I'll type use Keyspace and press enter, and I am right in my Keyspace code class right there. As you can see here on the command line, I now have CQLSH colony class, which is the name of my Keyspace, and the cursor there is waiting for me to type the next command. So for me to be able to create records, of course, I need a table that will hold the records in this Keyspace. So I'll start by creating the table. And the table that I'm going to create here is class list, which will hold the list of students in the class. So to create a table in Cassandra, you say create table, and then we give it a name. And the name that I'm going to give this table is class list. And class list is going to have these columns. It will have the student ID, which will be which I can just choose to say it, and this would be the primary key. Okay, it will have the student name, which I can just say is text, to have the surname, which is also text, and it will have, let's say, the gender, which is also text. So these are the columns that are going to be in my table called class list. The student ID, which is int. And in another video, I'm going to do I'm going to explain how you can let Cassandra create primary keys for your data there using the UUID. So in this instance, I'm just going to use int and say primary key there, just for demonstration purposes. All right, so I'll press enter here, and my table class list is going to be created. And if I also type desk tables here, just to list the tables that are in this Keyspace code class, I'll press enter there, and of course it has only one table called class list, which I just created. Okay, so for me to start inserting records into this table, we use the word insert in Cassandra. Insert into, just like in SQL, It's the same really when you are inserting records into a Cassandra table. I would say insert into class list, which is the name of my table, and then I specify the columns of my table in the order that I want this insertion to happen. So I want it to first insert. I want to first insert the student ID, and I want to then go on to insert the student name, and I want to go and insert the surname. Then I'll finish with inserting the gender. Let me just check the spellings there. Student ID, student name, surname, and gender. Right. And then that is followed by the statement or the clause values. And in the values, I put my bracket there and then specify the actual values that I want this record to have. So the student ID, I'm just going to put an integer value there, which is quite random. I'll simply say 2025 2025-01. That's the student ID. And for the student name, I'm just going to say this student is called John. And for the surname, this student is going to be called Murphy. And the gender, this is male. Is that the gender coming? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the gender is male. And I will close my bracket there and end with my semicolon. So I'm going to enter this record of one student called John Murphy, and the student is male. And I'll press enter there. And that record is in my Cassandra table now, the table called class list. So I'm going to insert another one. Insert into class list. Now, I'm typing another command here, which is similar to the one that I just typed. And in Cassandra, if you don't want to keep typing these commands, or on any command line for that matter, you just recall your statements by just pressing your arrow pointing upwards just once there, and you can recall the statement that you just executed previously. And I can just go ahead and change the details that are in this record here. This person is now called, I can call them Peter, and the surname I can say Gregory, and they are also male. Okay, I'll press enter there. I'll recall again the previous statement and change the student ID. Also change the name. I'll call this person Mary, and Mary is Mary Gregor again. I'll just say this is now female. I'll press enter again, and maybe I'll enter the last person there, which would be student ID 2025-04, and their name is let's just say Mariah, and their surname is Carey, and they are female. I'll press enter. So I've entered 4 records in my table. And for me to be able to retrieve those records, we now use the select statement, just like we use it in SQL. We use the same statement here in Cassandra. We just say select and star, meaning all attributes, meaning all columns, which is the ID, the name, the surname, and the gender of each student. So I'll just select all from class list. Okay, and I'll press enter, and my table is going to show like that, which is composed of 4 students, and it has 4 rows. It shows that my table has 4 rows right here. Okay, so that's how you can create a key space in Cassandra, create a table in the key space, insert records in the table, and retrieve the records from the table. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like this video, please do comment, please give me feedback, and if there's any video that you'd like me to do, please just put it in the comment section there, and I'll gladly oblige. And please do like, do share these videos so that we reach as many people as possible. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.